Holy fuck! I can't believe it's time we get to talk about. This video's gonna get demonetized because I swore in the first 2 seconds. We
Please
get to
don't
talk
tell me.
about our favorite island. Everyone in this chat definitely loves Celestial Island. We love it so much. We've been dying to talk about it.
Minor, how you guys feel about Furcorn?
No. Well,
I know what you're gonna say, and I don't. I'm assuming I know, but I hope it's not.
well, I mean, Furcorn has the element because what do you feel about Glacier?
I knew it. I was like, bro, you got two. You totally got two because it's fucking worst monster.
Listen, Glacier be like, my name's Jeff. Yeah.
Dabs, bro. He's
Listen,
dude. It's like, it's okay.
Listen, you know what this monster sounds like?
No, I haven't heard it in a while.
Good. It's like in the first half. It's just so like, you know how Glacier had his really like different sounding drum kit that was just kind of unique at least. What if the entire drum was just a kick and that's it?
He was humble now.
It's one of those.
It's okay. Listen.
It's one of those.
It's okay.
It's one of those kicks that is used in like the fucking Blue Man Group. Just was like really not supposed to be musically good, just insanely reverberating loud kick drums.
Glacier more likes nature.
It's okay because he can sing.
Oh boy, can he sing! Alright.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't even know if it's pitched or not singing. Literally, like when Celestial came out and everyone was trying to remake it on Composer, they absolutely lost their minds when trying to do Glacier's vocal part because they had zero clue what pitch it was, if it was pitched, or just any sort of anything for it. So it was just a complete mess all around, and Glacier just was very flawed.
Alright, here's my opinion on Glacier. Okay, so you got Glacier. Glacier be like as purple as Glacier. Glacier hit the drum. Okay, I guess. And then he go Rudy too. Whatever you do, you crazy, crazy man. Rudy toot.
He hits the snowman, and the snowman pogs at Jesus.
Oh my god!
Okay. This island doesn't deserve silver linings, but one minuscule good thing about Glacier that I can say is that I kind of like the rhythm he has in the second track. That's really it, just the doom, 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 boom, 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 boom.
How you guys feel about?
I didn't think you say anything about Glacier yet.
He's ugly. We don't care. Anyways,
this is my podcast. I'm the #1 hater.
This is my podcast.
No, it's true. This is Abed's Achilles heel island. So
I have advocated for Celestial hate more than anyone else could dream of.
Advocate.
In that case, Abed, what do you think of Glacier on Celestial Island?
His drum sounds are whatever. I don't care. It's like here's the thing. His percussion is like you just like took Party Island and Tribal Island, squashed them together in a syringe, and just injected it into a drum and gave it to Glacier. So it's just so boring. And then afterwards, his vocals just leads to like I would forgive this song if that verse didn't exist, but it does exist, and I would argue to say it is the worst verse in MSM history. It's so bad. Like, at least Water Island is on beat. It's so bad, and it's Glacier's the main one. It started it all. Like from the get-go, we had 5 monsters. Like, oh yeah, we got a decent thing going on, and then just 30 seconds of Glacier, and I'm like, bleh, stop.
How long is the song?
Like It's probably about like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. So
So
he's about
a third
at
of
the
the
very least
song.
1/4 of the song,
Wait,
or maybe a third. I don't know.
hold on. I have this song open. I can check. Okay, yeah, it's 2 minutes. So a quarter of the song is just the worst verse in MSM history, and Glacier is
Yeah,
largely responsible for that.
Exactly, and like I don't mean this in offense to the person. Okay, This is gonna happen a lot. But whenever I'm gonna compare things to people in the community, and just know the flaw isn't within the people of the community. Like I'm not saying that they're bad, but what I'm saying is the fact something they can easily create is like able to just be compared to official MSM BBB stuff, especially when it's the most important monsters in the lore, is just like terrible. And this Glacier straight up sounds like just a Wither impression, and it's like Glacier should sound like Glacier, not an impression from a member of the community. It and also it's like Seb asked Drew, like I am pretty certain when this came out, Olivia and Ryan, like people, I don't know if it was, I think it was Olivia who genuinely did not believe it was real, who thought it was
I
just
didn't
fake.
think it was real. That was me.
Art style is just completely different from what
I
the MSM is.
I had to go in game. Like, okay, so people were posting the baby PNGs, and I was like, bro, do you think I'm stupid? This is the most obvious bait ever. Look at these
Yes.
sprite ass things ever. And then I go in game, I see the fucking trailer thing, I watch it on YouTube, and hand in head, inside of my head, I meshed myself to my hand, rolling on the floor, crying in the corner.
It looks like they look like Super Bro decided to design baby Celestials and Seb asked Drew fabric them.
Huh? Why you say? I wasn't paying attention.
So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not the best artist ever, but I know a lot about artistic like theory and shit. And these baby designs make me hurl.
Again, it's like it. It's not even entirely fully about the art style because like there's MSM1 Snizer who looks perfectly fine.
Yeah.
In my at least it's like people argue about it, but I think it looks fine. It's whatever. Like sure, it's not consistent, but here MSM's never been consistent. But like the biggest thing is one, the designs are just really bad designs in for the redesigns as babies, and two, it's just like they just it's about what it is. It's a huge downgrade to again like one of the most monumental things in MSM history. The Celestials are huge, giant. Like Galvana's PNG is 6,000 by 6,000 in size. They're insanely huge and really like well done. Hours worth of effort put into it. Really well designed, really well drawn. Tons of detailing. Like Hornicle would make Leonardo da Vinci gasp with his art. It's all these amazing things, and then you look at these, and it looks like someone just like uh like said, "Hey, what if I like took a look at a picture and tried to draw it while squinting so I could only see the basic colors and just like slopping it out in MS Paint?" I was like, "Yeah, that looks fine."
It's like those like elephants that learn how to paint, and then they just paint
Yeah,
circles.
Ugh. Guys.
And that was
it's like they were like, "What if we made cell shaded?" But see, cell shaded art looks good. Everyone likes that style. What if we tried to take that, take away the shading part of cell shaded and just turn it into sprites?
Guys,
And it just takes away the art.
I'm gonna let you know, that was 10 minutes for exclusively Glacier.
yeah.
We're just getting all like the hate out for all
Yeah.
the ones like almost all these criticisms apply to all the ones everyone. The point is Glacier sounds bad in every way. He's like it's a terrible downgrade. The only good part about it is the fact
He bullies
I
a
guess the
snowman.
snowman is a little quirky.
The
It's
snowman
not even-
is the best monster on Celestial Island.
Where's the
At least in design.
True.
But
It
it's
look-
okay, because listen, this update didn't come out with just Glacier. It left 4 other turds on the doorstep.
Yeah, that was the sound of them making the turd.
Yeah, and one of those turds is Hornicle. No, I was gonna say Hornicle, but Hornicle's not awful. I don't think he gets turd status.
Nah.
Who did you just remove? Oh, you removed
Zoom.
Bro. Oh.
It's always awesome whenever Blissum comes out and people are scrambling to see if it's the GarageBand sound font. Because of how bad it is.
Yeah, except the difference is, like, with the last time it wasn't it. This time it genuinely is.
This one stings really bad because, like, Glacier on Starhenge is, like, okay, he was, like, mid-tier. But then Blossom on Starhenge. You take Blossom on Starhenge, and then you compare it to the same monster, but on Celestial Island, and you just you melt.
I don't know what it was, but these freaking Celestials had Tay-Sachs disease. Literally, Alzheimer's, literally corrupted brain mush, and then they just spat out whatever they knew from 75,000 years ago. They're not even the same monster anymore.
I know this one isn't technically that bad, and I know it's not as awful as the other ones, but, like, to put into context, I know for a fact the old Blossom was, I don't know if it still is, but I know it was Ryan's favorite composition in, like, the entirety of MSM.
I think it still is. I don't know. I'd have to go through them all
But
again.
then, how does it feel knowing that that monster is the same monster as this one?
I mean, personally, I think Blossom is the best monster on this island. It's the most interesting thing to listen to.
Its
But that's not
melody's okay.
What about you,
That's not
Abed?
saying much considering what the competition is on this island.
Didn't, like, everyone say, like, that the sound of, like, a GarageBand sound?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh. So, oh.
Yeah.
I see.
I don't know what happened to the old Blossom sound font. Maybe they lost it.
I just, like, want to point out, I just noticed this right now because I never analyzed Baby Blossom's design, because why the fuck would I subject myself to that awfulness? But, like, I don't understand it at all. So, like, it's one thing, it's like, oh yeah, it has wellness. I was like, yeah, okay, that's whatever, decently quirky, but something they never even explained. Why does it just have 4 pipes? Like, what are those all about? His sound doesn't even come out of them. He just has pipes on his butt for some reason.
Yeah, and then they turn into a saxophone tail.
It'd be like if they were like, yo guys, I know what to do for this baby Entbrat redesign, and they just put Reedling's horns for his normal horns, and then still was just la la la, and the horns did nothing, but he just has Reedling's horns on his head.
You know what I think it is?
What?
Isn't a saxophone a woodwind?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my theory. Blossom's adult form clearly looks like a saxophone. Like, it looks exactly like one. And for the baby, they wanted, instead of it to look like a big saxophone, they wanted to make it look like a pan flute. So they just, instead of having the saxophone woodwind tail, they had a pan flute woodwind tail. Because it's more like innocent.
To me, it just kind of looks like...
That's a good one.
If a bagpipe was a fleshlight.
That's what I was thinking. It looks like a bagpipe.
Either way, I don't think that makes much sense. Like, design philosophy. Okay, it looks like a saxophone before, which is not what instrument it is. Let's make it a different instrument. It's not a bagpipe.
I know. Trust me, when Blossom came out, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a saxophone, and then it was a bassoon, and I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, It's probably better off. I don't think a saxophone would fit on Celestial very much.
No, absolutely not. Like, I wouldn't trade Bassoon's instrument out for anything in the world. But that we're getting sidetracked.
The point is, this monster is like, it's okay because it has an actual like composition that isn't terrible and doesn't make me vomit. But it's like, again, the downgrade is just so awful. It's like the composition is a good composition, but compared to the other one, it's like it's Magpie's spare lunch.
It's good because you know
It's okay.
who else isn't terrible?
Hornicle.
Yeah.
Except this like it's like if you took it's like they're like, okay, we completely bastardized the Bassoon's design. Who's next on the chopping block? How do we make it even worse? It's like, yes, it's like the most detailed Celestial, and turn it into I don't even know how to describe it.
Turn it into Bubble Guppies from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, definitely from Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that's what it was for me.
Really? It was Disney Junior for me.
No. Well, either way, it looks like it looks like clip art I'd see on Google, and then I would slap into like a PowerPoint. It does not look like something from a game.
Oh, I don't like looking at it. Hornicle. Okay, the concept itself, like the design, I don't really care the whole visual aesthetic of it because, like, yeah, it's a baby. It's gonna have less complicated things simply because of the fact that it's a baby. What kills me, and what absolutely ruins the design, is the color palette. Hornicle had such a deep, saturated, ocean-like color palette with the bright reds, the deep blues, and you turn it into a fucking pastel artist DeviantArt account, OC.
It looks like it's made out of like that sand, foldable sand that you have.
I bet, can you post the old Hornicle as well?
Yeah,
We're talking about the sound yet.
The sound is whatever. I like its accents, but it's waste.
See, like you can tell it's good when I try to send the PNG and it literally says, "Sorry, this is too big for Discord."
Listen, I like Hornicle because that's my Gloop Celestial. That's me. That's me in real life.
We just get better, smaller PNG.
I don't know
in
what
defense of Hornicle.
In defense of Hornicle. Oh my god, I love the color palette in the old one. Like, the murky blue for the body is now just light blue
Pastel
sky.
baby.
Pastel baby, ooh.
A teal. It's more of a teal.
Yeah. Anyway, the sound. It falls into a pitfall that a lot of the Celestials on this island fall into, where we only have 12 monsters on this island. Let's have it play once.
I quite like that song.
It plays twice because whenever it comes back, it does the like one accent note where it jumps back and that's it.
Listen, the sound it's the biggest problem with Celestial is that it's a 12 monster island, like you said, and they're composed like they're on like a 17 monster island or something, and it's just like so empty.
One of Hornicle's tracks is literally just his best impression of Tembrass on Insanity.
Yeah. I don't know what...
The composition's pretty... Oh, what's it called? Just repetitive, too. It, like, kind of reminds me of Pixelato's composition in that sense.
Yeah, that's very true. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it startles itself, and it's cute.
Yeah,
except
and
then the animation looks so fucking bad.
I want to mold it.
It's funny.
A heart.
Until people told me that, I did not take it as him startling himself at all. I took it as he exuded a lot of force, and the force pushed him back, and that's what shocked him.
I think that's what it's meant to be, but
But
it just
no,
looks-
it's just that people turn it into, ooh, loud noise, startle little babby.
Little bad boy go, oh
Poor
god.
little
You
babby.
know what the animation looks like? It looks like what's it called? Like in like GTA 5 or something, when like you get exploded by 50 gajillion explosions at once, and your body just completely rags so fast that you just teleport, just like, and then you're dead.
Bro, this is the most fan-made animation ever. Cause just it sways to one side for the entirety of the track, sways to the other side for the entirety of the track.
Yeah, and the legs are too small to do anything, so they just make it hop.
No charisma put into this thing whatsoever when it's supposed to be lively because it's a child, and it is shown. Look at its face; it wants to be lively, but no, it just falls over, and then I kick it, and then it goes into the sun.
It's almost like in the old design, they realized that its legs were too small to properly animate, so they gave it the peg legs so that it could have a rickety aesthetic with its movements, therefore accentuating its personality. I wonder why it doesn't work in the baby form.
I mean, it honestly could have worked in the baby form if they just realized, hey, weight exists, and things that are super top heavy can't just like hop halfway across the screen.
Listen, I would hop halfway across the screen if I was Atmos. Okay, Atmos. I don't see enough people talk about this, but personally, I fucking hate Atmos on this island.
It's so adequate.
I hate his guitar sound font. I hate his voice. I hate his track. It's so awful.
Everyone knows about the issues with his the issues with Glacier's voice and it sounding fan made. I remember when it came out, I pointed out how fan made Atmos's voice sounds, and everyone's like, "No, he sounds perfectly. He sounds exactly." I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, it sounds like they sampled the original voice and sampling a voice. You know, obviously you can't sample a voice, so they have to sing over it. And they were like, we can't afford anything. Let's get Strimes to do it."
I forgot how awful his new design is.
Dude, he's a gangster.
I hate Atmos on this island so much. Seeing
I don't
Atmos,
understand why they decided to make him like.
they made him a fuckboy.
Why did you have to say that?
Atmos looks like
what
he would.
sparked in your brain that made it okay for you to say that?
Look at
Why
him.
the right mind made it?
He's got a soul patch.
Worse in these podcasts.
What?
5 to your rating.
Who has said worse in this podcast yet?
That's true.
Listen, I'm cool.
Yeah, you said worse. You said Hornicle was good.
I like how they have
That's
like.
because I'm cool.
I like how he has like that like in the adult. It's like, oh, he's super old. Look at that super baggy eye around. Is it the baggy side? That looks cool. And they're like, yeah, that's not actually bagginess. That's just his wrinkly skin. See, he has that. That's his skin color. See, just like please like open the PNG like of the baby one and just like look at that transition from the goatee to the chin.
I hate it so much. I hate.
It looks like a Zeb-ass ring.
Also, how are you gonna take this fucking legendary lad of a monster and make its composition the most, like, boring ass beginning of the beat bullshit I've ever heard in my life?
Bro, I hate Atmos' entire verse because Atmos is the melody that's just bum, shama bum, and I'm like, bro, I'm melting.
Remember?
It's literally just his old composition again.
Yeah, except for the fact that It's
Worse.
literally his old composition, except the voice and the guitar on this new one was just the guitar on the old one. And
Listen, here's the thing.
that
It's
pisses
the
me off.
old. Listen, it's like that, but then afterwards, see, here's what happened. They sampled just the old one and then recorded over it, but kept the sample in, and then afterwards, they were like, okay, listen, we have to make this different. So, okay, so you know how he has this like 8-bar track? Let's just like split that down to 1 bar and just loop that over and over again, and just make it pixelotl again.
Yeah, but it's like main melody for half the song.
Yeah, exactly. God, you know what I'm doing? I don't know if I don't think you can do it on mobile, but like for Olivia, just like click on the baby Atmos PNG and like drag it up so it's hovered over the adult one. It literally has all the same body proportions except its torso is just shorter.
Yeah. It's so bad. It sucks because Atmos, like adult Atmos, is one of my favorite Celestials, and then this baby one is like getting shot in the head with acid. And can you believe this isn't even close to the worst downgrade?
Listen, it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I don't know.
The last of the 5 that we have is at least a kind of okay transition. So
Okay, I'm gonna get this right out of the gate. Tort, the thing they did with the hi-hat is cool. I like that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's cool that they did that. It looks cool and it makes sense with his design.
You know, Celestial Island, I hate you so much. I'm not below giving credit where credit's due. They kind of popped off with the hi-hat.
they popped off with the hi-hat, and I like what they did with this animation where he puts his leg up like what he does on Starhand.
Yeah, that's a nice callback. Other than that,
Other than that, it's like, bro. I love 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that for them.
listen,
1,
babies.
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Listen, it's hard for babies to keep rhythm.
Then don't make them babies.
I like how it's a
Then
baby.
don't baby.
It's a baby, and it's like they're so bad at babifying. Like literally, like look at its body. It still has the same man boobs. It still has the same leg and arm proportions, but then they just shrunk its back. That's not how you grow up. It's not. People don't have giant heads and tiny backs and then normal bodies, and as the head shrinks, the back grows. It's not how it works.
Also, the
His
baby
entire
is
head,
pink.
he's top heavy.
Yeah,
The
why
baby
is
is
the
literally
baby?
pink,
Why is the
and
baby
the
pink?
adult is purple.
God, everything. Like, I keep looking between the two, and looking at baby Tort's head and looking at adult Tort's head. What the fuck happened?
I like how what's it called? He just got turned into a baby magically, and that just replaced his drum with a different drum.
Question. I'm really curious. Well, it's not a question you guys can answer. I'm just really curious. I need to know the answer. How does Tort get the weird cyst tumor mold on the back of his head? Because he doesn't have it as a baby. That's not how skulls work.
Listen, here's the thing. I'll tell you how he gets it.
Best.
No, listen, look, he has hair covering over there, so he still has it. It's just the hair's there covering it, and then he goes bald.
Also, another thing that's not how it works, the spikes on his shell are in completely different locations.
And they don't look, they're in perspective.
Yeah. Tort's okay. Sound-wise, Tort's okay, but design-wise, this thing is a monstrosity.
Hey, you guys have seen things that have antennas on their head, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how they work? They're just nubs, and then they just grow in.
Of course.
I like baby Tort's nose just being like above his eyes and don't look like a nose at all anymore.
Oh my god.
His nose just moves down as he evolves, and I like how his chin is bigger, and he has less teeth. Even
Look at his
it's
tail.
Yeah, it's dumb.
It's just a nub.
Because, tails definitely extend. You gain more vertebrae as you grow up. Unless they're saying, as an elder, the vertebrae, detach from each other and it just, accordions out. Which is way worse. Anyway,
I can't get over his man. I just can't.
For this podcast, I'm gonna have to put both PNGs on the screen for the monsters we talk about, just so people can see what we're talking about when we're talking about it.
It's like the only time where signs matter.
Okay, so listen. Listen. Now we have to talk about. Okay, so Celestial just came out and it had these 5.
Yeah, and it was the worst song in the game already.
Yeah, it was. And then, but it's okay. Listen, it had no intro. The opening, the two opening verses were like the same thing twice. They were listenable, and then afterwards, Glacier, and then afterwards, Glacier, and then afterwards, it was the second verse again, and it was listenable.
I remember.
And then afterwards, in all, it cost about 500 diamonds.
I remember when it came out with the 5. I listened to Lorenz had it on YouTube. He re-uploaded it 3 times because he did the files right. I listened to it and I'm like, bro, I just listened to it. Why would I spend 500 diamonds on this? This does not seem worth it at all.
It's not, especially when you consider the fact that these monsters make the same amount of money as a freaking synth, yeah.
Yeah, you could literally spend 5,000 coins and just breed 8 monsters and get the same that you would get from spending over 100 diamonds and almost 40 eggs.
It's more almost 150.
Yeah, because you have to spend 5 hours just constantly breeding noggins.
75 noggins.
Listen, the best part about Celestial Island is that it's kind of fun to strategize egg strategy. Except it's not even. It's fun on Wublin, but it's not even fun on Celestial because on Wublin you got tight schedules where you need to actually plan it out to be able to do it right, or else you won't be able to do it. While on Celestial, it's yeah, you got a month and a half. You take your time. Literally, you could wake up in the time it takes to get a single Plixie. You could zap enough eggs to wake up 4. That's being really generous, honestly.
Galvana taking an entire month when it literally only takes a week if you're lazy.
Literally, if you log on once a day for a week, you'll be able to do it. While with Dermot, you have to actively log on every whenever something's ready, you have to be ready to build the next thing, and it's kind of fun to strategize. And this is just, it's oh yeah, people liked it once, let's do it again, except tedious because there's no timeline you have to worry about, and it's just more eggs.
Yeah. It's fine, because after the island came out, after a month of the island existing and people hating it, I remember there were so many people in the community that were like, bro, don't count your chickens yet. They could make it better. It's not done yet. They could redeem it.
Like that at all.
Yeah, I know. People like Abed, and I think Ryan as well at the time, were just basically saying, y'all are fucking stupid. This island is already dead.
This island, this year, that year in general, 2018, really just taught me a lot about just community whiplash, because with both this and Epics, it was the same case of someone it would come out, it's clearly terrible, people would call out it being terrible, and then one person would say, guys, wait, no, come on, it's not that bad. Stop saying it's so bad. You don't even know it yet. and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. This is actually pretty cool. And if you're hating on it, you just don't understand. You don't get it enough yet." And then afterwards, it was just like, yeah. And then after like a month, they'd go back to realizing it's complete garbage.
Yeah.
And it would happen every single time. And it's like, God, do you know how to have your own opinion?
This happens still with Coliseum and Light Island and
Yeah,
Black
it's just,
Island.
guys, this is awesome. This is an awesome new update. Wait a minute, no, it's not. It's garbage. No, guys, it's okay. We're gonna get PvP mode. What? What do you mean? It's AI. I could never believe BBB would do that to us.
I can't believe
Anyways.
they did that still.
It makes
It's
sense
okay.
in retrospect.
Syncopite came out after that.
Yes, Syncopite is the first monster that people said could quote unquote save the island.
Syncopite.
Anyway, this is the first time I've ever really done this in a podcast, but I actually always have a water bottle, and it just ran out because I'm already dying of laughter. So, you guys say what you want about Syncopite. I'll be right back in a second. Don't wait for me, because you gotta keep the ball rolling.
Syncopite is whatever. Why is it traditional instead of
Syncopite be like,
Just not take a piss?
It's okay because it's a Goomba, guys. It looks like a Goomba.
Dude,
good.
it's so cool. I bet if
Yes. Whenever I think about Syncopite, I can't help but think of that one King Heron image.
It's a pretty good image.
No.
No, that's actually the best image. Alright, but hey, but what's your opinion on Syncopite's sound on Celestial Island?
So like Starhand was a super basic boring loop. So they were like,
Okay,
no, we gotta up that. We gotta up the ante. People didn't like Syncopite because it was a loop. So, actually, see, people didn't care about whether it was a loop or not. No one ever cares about loops. They don't know it's a loop. They never notice. But they obviously hate it because it's an electronic drum kit, even though his code name is literally Electro Drum. So let's make him acoustic instead, because that's how it works. Like, when you're a baby, you're acoustic, but when you grow up, your head becomes a metal and you can play electronic sounds.
Of course, that's how it works.
Yeah, so that's why Syncopite had to be, instead of electronic loop, it had to be an acoustic loop. And this, I think the best part is, the sound probably fits Glacier better than it could ever fit Syncopite.
Does this thing ever stop playing?
It doesn't play in the opening.
Yeah, it doesn't play for the first bar.
It also has a moment. I can't believe I'm about to compare Celestial Island to this island, but on Bone Island, where Calacula has that one track that's literally just the first track, but at the beginning of the track it pauses. Syncopite has that, but there's a track where at the end of the track it pauses, and that's really the only time it stops playing outside of the beginning.
Oh yeah, because it has to show the impact of the single at the end, because everyone cares about that, and then it transitions into Hornicle.
I remember people popping off on that and be like, "Oh my god, no, bro! You see how saucy this island is?"
Yeah, monster. Pause. So
Yeah.
saucy, so saucy. I love sauce.
The sauce is like mayonnaise.
It's just like monster. Really nothing at all. It's just like, why? Why is it the main percussionist? Who went? Yo, okay, let's see. We got the choice. We got drum loop. We got the drum machine, or we have torch. I got this. Syncopite, hit it.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this is an improvement over Starhenge, though.
Is it though?
No.
What do you mean? On Starhenge it plays once.
Okay.
It's an improvement, I guess. When it comes, listen. Here's the thing. What would you view to be better? Not partaking in something good or heavily partaking in something bad? I think it's better not to eat Thanksgiving dinner than to go and rob a bank.
Here's the thing. I'm about to defend Starhenge Syncopite, thank you. I can't believe I'm going to defend him and I couldn't even remember his name. Anyway, I'm about to defend Starhenge Syncopite. When I'm listening to Celestial Island, I never really hear Syncopite. I always hear, if I'm like focusing on percussion, I always hear like Glacier or Tort or whatever. I sometimes hear Syncopite, but it kind of, all the percussion meshes together in my mind. But on Starhenge, when Syncopite comes in and accents fucking Blassoom's high notes in the do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do, that shit pops off. Syncopite may not play long on Starhenge, but he is undeniably impactful in the part that he does play. On Celestial, he has one track that plays the entire song, and because it plays the entire song, it just eventually registers as oatmeal that is overwatered in your brain. It is literal mush.
Listen, it's okay, because at least it's not Garatar.
Oh no!
It's this early. Oh my god.
Hey guys, you know
Sooner
how
or later.
So like this, I guess this is like, if this was a top 3, bottom 3, I know where this would go.
Number 2, bottom.
Yeah.
Remember what I said? Atmos wasn't the biggest downgrade on the island?
Hand in head. Hand in head.
You know what was the most painful thing ever?
What?
So, I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about Skartar pre-release?
Why, did you get leaks?
Yes. There were leaks for Skartar before it was released. We've talked about leaks before. I feel like I'm safe talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I have something in my mouth. That's why I'm kind of... Anyway, we knew Skartar pre-release, and like everyone in a group chat knew that it was literally just Blassoom, and it only played in the opening. And the most painful thing ever, like the most depriving, painful thing, was constantly hearing people say, "Don't worry, guys, Skartar will save the island."
There's no way people said that.
They did. I heard it so many times.
How?
Listen, something I hate about...
It was people who didn't know the leaks. Like,
yeah, right. Remember, hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20.
Even then,
what do you mean hindsight? What is there to like take in clarity? It's literally.
Yeah, but people didn't know that. People didn't know that until it came out. I'm talking about before it came out.
You're talking about, oh, bro, Skartar, OP Starhenge. It's gonna go to Celestial Island and save the song?
Yeah.
Okay, I completely understand that, but we don't live in that world. We don't live in a world where things go fine.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Listen. I know we don't really talk about designs, but this podcast, we've been really design heavy when it came to like certain monsters. The goddamn beard on this thing, the hair.
It's like the image of the spaghetti with the mold hair.
This is... The baby design for Skartar has kind of raised something in my mind that I feel like has a chance of being true, because people always talk about how Skartar's beard does not look like hair at all. And it has made me think that what if Skartar's beard is just a chitinous plate that looks like a beard?
That's what I was thinking, but then you look at the beard in the Dawn of Fire.
The beard in the Dawn of Fire one doesn't look like hair either.
I mean, to me,
and to be fair, hair is also chitin, so...
I mean, he does have hair though. He has individual strands of hair.
It's just
So he had
food for
hair.
thought.
So, wait.
But
I
anyway,
mean, listen. Okay, I'm gonna talk more about that hair, but the thing is, like, I can believe that where it's like it's not like human hair to the point where it's like all flowy, wavy. Because first of all, the shape, but second of all, the shading is like it's more like if it were hair, it would have to be extremely like oily or like drenched to shine that shiny.
Slurp up the hair like noodles.
All right, elephant, tiny elephant in the room though. What about the ladybugs?
I like the ladybugs; they're silly.
I
How did they
care.
stay? That's my question. How? How did they become Skaratar? If you're talking about Skaratar, might as well just make him the ladybug because that's also Skaratar.
I mean,
Listen. Skaratar, listen. If you're gonna talk about the leaks, then here's like for me the best part is like honestly when the leaks came out, I wasn't even surprised. Like I had given up already, and I was like, yeah, they're not gonna make him go. That's not gonna happen. And then it didn't happen. It was kind of funny.
It's so just like, bro, come on.
Again, it's the joys of being a pessimist. Either you get to take joy in the fact that hey, at least I was right, or you get a pleasant surprise.
yeah.
And it's definitely one of those that I felt when Scartar came out.
Like it hurt. It really hurt. It's
I
like
remember.
it's like knowing when a bomb's gonna drop and just waiting for it to happen and just seeing the carnage that happens because of it.
Listen, it's okay because at least what's it called?
Can you
Listen,
believe
it's okay
people?
because. And I what?
Can you? I'm sorry. I don't know if you're trying to transition into the next one. I just wanted to state. Can you believe people defended Scartar when it came out?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, I cannot believe that. I mean, it makes sense, but they shouldn't have, and they're stupid for doing so.
I saw.
Also, I
I
wasn't
was
going
on.
to transition.
I was on Twitter at that point, and there were people who were like saying you're awful if you and I don't want to paraphrase, but I kind of have to because it was so long ago. But I remember seeing one comment on Twitter that was basically saying you're an awful person if you post that you hate Skaratar.
They were like, "Oh, bro,
Listen,
higher octave of Blossom, bro."
listen, it's okay. Listen, here's the thing. At the very least, this Scartar is out and released. The band-aid is off. There is no way in hell that MSM would ever, in its history, release another monster using that sound font that's equally as terrible as Scartar. That wouldn't happen. It could never. Like the chances of them deciding to make a sitar monster again in the first place, and then afterwards having the same sound font and just having it be just as like compositionally lame in every way as Scar, it would never happen again. This is a one-time experience at least, and we could just be happy with that and never have to think about it again.
Yeah, hopefully. So anyway, after Skaratar was Ludwig.
You mean Medley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the awful pleasure of like hearing Ludwig and just going, "Wait a minute, that's me." Don't know, Ludwig's piano sound font is literally part of a free app called Medley on iOS devices where the low piano sound font is just part of the starter pack that you get for free. Meaning, I could literally go in on my phone and just recreate Ludwig verbatim.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, it's okay because it's more than just that. Because like he's not just a piano, right? He's a piano with echoey effects and reverb, right? And those were definitely added in post separately from composing the sound, right? There'd be no way to tell if they were to ever possibly instead apply those in the free app they just downloaded use in 2 minutes, right?
I remember, again, with Composer Island, people were trying to recreate Ludwig and just couldn't because its echo was so painstakingly destructive of its sound, and they didn't know what was notes and what was echo, so it was just a mess of because it was before Plixie, we don't know what was actually playing, so it was just a complete just like what is happening. And then I go in medley and I put the echo to the max, I put the delay to the max, I put the uh
Reverb.
reverb to the max, and it's still not as bad. It's like tolerable still. So I have no clue what they could have done. They could have exported the sound, put it in again, and then put the delay on a different setting. So it's just multiple delays at once. I don't know what they did, but they
No,
completely.
but wait. No, Ryan, didn't you tell me that like there used to be a glitch in medley where when you would apply like the echo, it would just be broken for some reason, and the way to fix that is just by literally just closing the app and reopening it, and they didn't do that.
I completely forgot about that. That still exists, and yes, that is exactly it. Actually, it's just broken reverb, broken delay that could be fixed with just one simple swipe of the button. But no, it's just the broken. Uh,
Wait, hold on a second. If the fix to if the fix to the reverb problem is to close and relaunch medley, doesn't that kind of confirm the fact that they composed the sound literally in one sitting?
Yeah.
yes.
Ow.
And okay, just quick. Would anyone like to count up how many notes this Ludwig has?
Hold on.
No.
I'm gonna
1,
say
2, 3, 2. There is none.
That's 4.
4.
Yeah, it's just the intro, just dun, 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 and then a bunch of terrible effects that are broken, and then afterwards it's just chords in the Ludwig verse. I mean, the Glacier verse, and then afterwards it's just Plixie's composition again, which is again
Uh,
like 5 notes in all.
what was I gonna say? Oh, I remember. So, you remember how on Starhenge everyone loved how the song started with just Scartar solo? What if we did that again, but the whole single monster playing the opening thing was one note?
Doom, doom,
Doom.
doom.
Do-do-doom.
one thing that I'll give it credit for is it made the song incredibly terrifying when just you have to like go into Celestial Island to see how much time is on your Celestial. So all you hear is just the extremely ominous dun 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 as you click on your Celestial. As you're like, oh god, time is running out. Except it's not because it's like halfway done.
Halfway done, Ryan.
Listen,
You'd have to log out of the game and like just not open the game for a week, and then just zap eggs and then do that again, and then maybe you'd be halfway.
this is Celestials we're talking about. I don't think anyone cared. And there's like
Yeah.
I got them all.
who think drum roll is hard and don't want to do that.
Yeah. Listen,
I think drum was hard because I don't play the game.
Fair.
yeah, listen, it's okay because it's. Listen, here's the thing. Oh, listen. Okay, you know something? Something I like, people barely ever mention it, but it lives in my brain forever, and I'm still so upset by it. That's related to Ludwig.
What?
So you know how like epics were a thing that
Yeah.
happened around the same time Ludwig came out? No, it was actually around Scartar.
Yeah.
I think it was actually related to Scartar's trailer. But see, what happened is Scartar had his trailer, and then after it led into the epic reveal. And you know what Scartar's trailer had for absolutely no reason?
What?
There was just at one point in the sand a film reel embedded there, and it was literally never once explained anywhere. It was just there.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think it's like not even like hidden. It's just right there. Like it's his trailer, and then just in the sand is a film reel for no reason.
That's so good.
I was like, oh, maybe this is gonna have to do with anniversary. Maybe this is, the teaser that they're doing. Maybe it's related to the epic. Oh, it's simple. They'll just say, oh, we got everything together, and here's the full film reel. We'll show it. Nope, it's never got explained. I was like, okay, maybe when they're all released, I've asked about it on MSM Live. They didn't even answer my question. It's completely unexplained.
That's great.
God, that just reminded me, like, the animations in the trailers for the Celestials.
The fucking what was it? I think it was the Vamp one where it was Scartar playing his like air guitar and blowing the
Oh,
sand off.
Scartar?
Atmos.
Atmos, right? And it was just moving his arm, rotating it up and down.
Again, can you believe people defended this monster when it came out?
Yeah.
Actually, this one's more believable because of two things. Both artistic things. People thought it was really endearing, and I kind of agree with this. People thought it was really endearing that it used its foot to play. Because it doesn't have the four arm things, because I guess fourth arms are adult gene thing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
needs to play
Listen,
with the foot.
when you reach the age of like Sunny Sumner, you grow another arm. You don't not like
Oh.
like another pair. You just grow another arm.
You don't grow
got
another arm, you grow
arms.
another forearm.
No.
And then the other thing
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
true.
how its piano looks like a mouth.
Yeah, it's just teeth, and they give it braces as a baby.
Yeah, they gave it braces. I think that's cute, but art doesn't carry MSM. Except for the fact that it kind of does, but you know what I mean.
Listen, art can carry MSM, but when the best thing you can say about an entire monster is pointing out that two of its countless aspects in art are like pretty okay, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
I hate its face.
I could see why people defended the sound, because like the sound at least like played the entire song, but
True.
also it kind of like, see, before this the Glacier verse was just Glacier and Syncopite, and it was like, okay, there's room for like actual music here, maybe it'll be fine. You know, we can't tell what the chords are because Glacier is Glacier. Who knows, maybe the chords are going to be all right. And then Ludwig, and came in and it was like, it's so much worse now. This is the most boring, unfitting chord progression ever. Like, I genuinely cannot figure out what the goal was with this chord progression. Like I was like, it's like people say, oh yeah, the song sounds like an epic journey. It's like, what is this part supposed to be? Oh no, Glacier has to stop to go to the bathroom because he has to use the bathroom.
Aw.
It's
You know,
the gas
he just
station
does it
bathroom
off
break.
the island. He just does
So,
it
like,
off the
it's like,
island.
Ew.
no, but like, you know, in like those movies where they have
I
to
know.
stop at the gas station to use the bathroom, and like a trucker comes in and tries to kill them with an axe.
No.
I guess that's what this part was supposed to be.
What?
It's
Who's the trucker in this situation?
Truck.
Mario.
Mario.
yeah. And guys, guess what?
Chicken butt.
I get to be the butt end of yet more jokes because next Celestial is my Celestial, fucking Plixie.
Like,
The best- All I can think of is the mezzo impression.
Stop. Don't say that name in this house. Yeah, listen, guys, you know all I think of when I think of Plixie?
The trailer.
I think of this one image that this one artist drew in this community. And
What?
I'm gonna take by that tone that it was not a good image.
Yeah. That was a great...
you know.
Listen,
Oh.
anyways, for those who don't know, BBB leaked Plixie's sound in... I don't know how to describe how shitty the production value was on this trailer. It was like I'm genuinely mind boggled by the fact this trailer exists. Like, let me just walk you through it. It takes place on Celestia Island, it's a Celestial Island song, and then afterwards, Furcorn breeds with Toe Jammer, and they get a baby Glacier,
I
which they
hate
place
that.
on the island. The breeding structure on the yeah, that happens, and then he has the 4x4 square isn't there at all. They just placed him somewhere on the island, and he starts playing even though he's not playing in the audio of that part. And then from there, like they go into the market and buy another monster or something, and then the island zooms out, and there's just like Wordos and
Talker.
Wobox on the island,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then
yeah.
in that part where it zooms out, they just had Plixie's sound, just "Doo-ah-doo-ah-doo-ah-doo-ah-dee." And it was like only one person recorded it. It was a really shitty recording of it, and it was like people were genuinely like, is this real? Because it didn't sound real. It
Yeah.
was just "Doo-ah-doo-ah-doo-ah-doo-ah-dee."
I can attest to that, and
I
that
can
is
too.
it's a real ad because I've gotten it before. But the thing is, I skip ads, so I would never have known.
I feel so bad for Plixie, dude.
Uh,
The only good thing Plixie does on this island is allow people to realize what Ludwig is trying to do.
yeah. And provide at least something of a melody to the boring verse.
I'm so upset that, like, two monsters, two insane, like, very melody-centric monsters that could have popped off, Scartar and Plixie, are literally just doing the same thing another monster does.
Listen, it's okay because listen, see, he's a baby, so he's got to move around a lot. So like, imagine Space Island Cybop, but again, so just he flies up in the animation and then he drops like a dead weight back to the floor.
Forgot about that.
He just like oh yeah, and also like, so you know how Hornicle, it looks like it's impossible for him to move. He's just a mass. Imagine if you just like took Hornicle and just chopped off his limbs and made him Nugget, and then put wings, like tiny wings, on his back, and it just looks like a rock going. Like it looks like you just like tied a string to a rock, put a camera, put the rock up and down with the string, and that's the animation. It's just like it looks bad. The design is so terrible,
It's
and
so...
the sound is just. I don't know why he said. Yeah. See, babies don't know about the letter Y. They only know L. Lua 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 lee. Oh yeah, and also they don't know yo. That's too hipster for babies. It's a baby. It's not a teenager. So instead of yo, he says yeah. He says lie.
It's,
Lua lie.
lie.
Yeah, this monster is garbage.
I've, like, since Plixie has come out, it's been released, this is genuinely the first time I've heard anyone mention Plixie since it's come out.
Well, why would you?
Exactly, like, this is the most forgettable, just absolutely nothing to the soundtrack in the entire thing. And that's saying something.
Well, besides Scartar.
I've heard people talk about Scartar since its release, even if for the wrong reasons.
That's fair. But like, yeah, Plixie is just like nothing again.
And it's so upsetting. November deserved a Plixie that actually did something. Anyway, next up is like the only good monster on the island.
Yeah, so Celestial Island just gets more and more shocking as it goes on, because then afterwards they decided for some reason to just like have something that's like somehow an improvement on Starhenge, and it's just like, what the fuck? How did they do that? And why did they only do it to one monster? And the answer is you just have to be like the worst monster on Starhenge, so burn us.
Yeah. Well, one of the worst.
It's the worst by normal standards, and then there's just Galvana, who I just don't consider Galvana a monster.
True.
So like, if you ignore the fact Galvana exists, Furnos is the worst monster on Starhenge.
Oh boy,
Yeah, and he's the best.
can't wait till we
I
get to
think
talk
it
about
says
her.
something when the worst on one island is the best on the next. Like, that's not saying much about Celestial Island Furnos. It just is a lot about every other Celestial on
Yeah.
this island. But that being said, it is a good. See, here, let me just say though, it's only good in sound. Its sound is just like this really cool echoey drum. The design is just the most like ugliest looking. What did you do? What did they do to your face? Like his face. Like, have you guys ever heard like that news story where there was like someone who kept a chimpanzee as a pet, and then afterwards, one day the chimpanzee attacked their neighbor and ripped off their neighbor's face?
No. But I can see where you're going with this.
Yeah, no, it looks like that happened for us. He just like
I
looks
didn't
like an.
I didn't care about its design until someone overused a joke about its design that forever has completely destroyed any semblance of good things I saw in it.
Is it
And
the rotating arms?
what?
Is it the rotating arms?
No, it is how it looks like someone. For the sake of anyone's sanity, I'm not gonna say it. But
Yeah, but
it's awful.
it genuinely does look like that person, and that person is fairly ugly in many ways.
Yeah. And its animation is still broken.
Yeah.
Its drums look so boring. Before they were like these like you know what they look like? They look like they were rocks in the adult. They genuinely look like rocks formed from lava into actual rock, and they're just naturally shaped, but like with some semblance of sense, like something shaping it. So they're just slightly shaped. Well, these are just a bunch of. It's like he was trying to make a keyboard but got foreign and gave up. So he just has 4 squares.
I mean, the squares at least look better than whatever drums it had on Starhenge.
I mean, yeah, but I think the Starhenge drums at least like look like they're interestingly shaped and not just squares. And okay, at least they had the like cool carvings on them. Here they just like I don't even know what it's supposed to look like, but if it's supposed to look bad, that's what it looks like.
But yeah, it's there's a lot of negativity with this one, but still, the sound's pretty good. It's got a sick rhythm, even if unintentional.
Yeah,
Because I feel like a lot of the rhythm is carried by delay and reverb.
Yeah, which we can see that BV does not know how to use.
Ugh.
But it's okay because like we need to listen. This island is this is the like it sucks. This isn't a bottom three because this would legit be the easiest bottom three of all time with this next one.
Eh.
Damn.
You know,
Oh.
honestly, I really ever so slightly kind of vibe with this vamp. It's a huge downgrade from Starhenge, like insanely colossal downgrade from Starhenge, but in a vacuum, it's kind of catchy.
I mean, I'd agree, but I don't at all.
Yeah, I know.
Because again, this is the worst verse in MSM history, and Vamp does not help that in my opinion at all.
That's
like,
the thing. That's really it.
like, Like it's sound font change. It's like it's like kind of cool gritty organ monster sound, I guess. Except like compared to the original, it's hot garbage. And then afterwards, the composition is once again pixelotl, just the exact same super boring rhythm over it. Do 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 do. It's just a really, really boring rhythm over, and then like the notes themselves are like actually just again, it's really, really boring chords. It does it like I've even heard someone like make this like verse sound like an actual decent verse, like on its own, but it still doesn't even slightly fit in the song at all. Everything about this verse was a complete mistake. And literally, I think the only good thing I could possibly say about Vamp is the animation on a single part of it, which is the nut on its head, looks kind of sick.
Yeah.
No, what about the predictions where people just made it a ball of light?
Listen, that is what you think of a prediction that Coco uploaded where he had the sound made by Dead Rush, and it was like actually the worst thing I've ever heard, and I've been trying to find it. It's so bad.
Vamp is kind of just eh. I can see why people would like it, but eh.
Huge downgrade to one of the best monsters on the island.
Why is it horizontal?
He I like that.
Bro.
We're finally almost at the end. We only have one more roadblock to get through. And holy fuck. What a roadblock.
This is like the fucking Berlin Wall of roadblocks.
Like,
in a vacuum, the melody is pretty cool. In a vacuum on its own, with absolutely nothing at all. And then you like implement it, and like it sounds like someone who tried to put together the song in Audacity placed this.
It doesn't even sound good in
There's
a vacuum.
definitely no clipping. Like
as
it's an eyeball.
as a person who has a really shitty phone speaker and on the computer only has headphones since I legitimately don't have speakers for the computer, this thing hurts. It physically hurts.
It is one of the most shrill sounds in MSM history.
Fucking Galvana on Celestial Island. Okay, guys, what is your opinion on Galvana on Celestial Island?
We said Magpie was the worst, right?
Yeah.
Because we forgot this thing existed, or no, we just forgot this thing existed. This thing is like by far the absolute just. Oh my god, what were you doing? Sound and MSM.
Okay, the sound is like a huge beast, but because this is like beginning to be a theme with this island specifically, I really want to point out how much of an abomination this thing's design is.
It's T-posing, bro. He's a gangster.
Why the fuck is its hair bursting out of its skull?
What do you
It's
mean?
painful looking.
It looks like the seed from the Lorax when they like put a drop of water on it, it splits open and the thing comes out.
Its face looks like a child was trying to draw a handsome Squidward from memory, blindfolded.
Its face looks like Minion from Megamind, a lot more. It's like here's what happened. They took Minion from Megamind, split his skull in half to have his hair come out, and then gave him the face of that one Fortnite fish character.
And then the fucking animation.
Why does it roll on its electric ball? That doesn't even make any sense. Its ball was a microphone!
It literally makes zero sense at all. And the fucking animation is terrible. The way it fucking just hops really fast on its legs, that's not how momentum works.
And it does the same thing that, like, every fan animation does, where it just goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's
I'm surprised they didn't make this thing a 3x3 just so that they could roll it around more. Because I swear, this thing's animation clashes into other animations. Anyway, what were you gonna say, Ben?
What's it called? So like, I don't know, with how terrible this animation is like. So you know how sometimes there's like small effects on monsters, right?
Yeah.
It's like Wabox, for example. He has like a huge electronic explosion that happens, like when he wakes up and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then he crashes. That's just part of his animation. And so the way they do it is they have like a circle of like the effect, and then they just like apply the effect so it doesn't look like just a circle. They forgot to do that here, so it looks like she just rolls around and then a random pulse circle just comes out. And
Oh
then
my god. It's so bad.
it's just the most shrill vocal and whistle too, because it had to be a flute, I guess. And you know where the flute comes from? The ball, I guess, or because that makes sense.
Ugh.
And then after to top it all off, it's like, hey, at least the melody is decent in the trailer. And then afterwards, they put it on the second beat for some reason,
Yeah.
and it's not offbeat, but it sounds offbeat. This is not. It doesn't sound good at all. It clashes with everything.
I don't understand what their mindset was. Like, okay, so the second half of the track is like normal, but then the first half where it does the like pause come in, and then whenever it's about to in order to fill out the length of like the entire verse, it just like holds like the second to last note very, very like unorthodoxly long, and it makes zero sense with timing or anything or like any musical integrity. So it just is just awkward and
Listen, MacP was like, yo, I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna drop, I'm gonna be the worst monster in all of MSM history. You know what? Like, there's some people complain about monsters clashing with others' notes. What if I clashed with myself? Ha, beat that. And then Galvan was like, yo, you may clash in note-wise, but have you considered clashing with the time, with like the beat itself? And being in like, it's just like, I didn't think of that one.
At least Magpie was trying to do something interesting.
at
Failed
least,
completely.
at least it was on beat, and at least it like wasn't like
Like,
fucking
this is gonna sound weird, but in a weird sort of way, I think Magpie is endearingly awful. Where, like, I admire the zeal of how bad it is.
Okay, at the very least, Galvana. I mean, at the very least, Magpie is only the absolute worst by a long shot on only one island and not two.
Fair.
this.
Galvana came out, then Magpie came out, and then Galvana had to defend her title.
I don't.
That was our finale.
The best part is like with every release of a monster, there were so many people on Twitter, like who were like shitting on people who complain about the island, saying, "God, it's not done yet. Wait for it to done to criticize it because it's probably gonna be good." And then afterwards, Galvanic came out, and I had like a 10 tweet long thread about how terrible Celestial Island and everything on it is. And then afterwards, all those people were just like, "Yeah, you're right." And I was like, "I've been right since the day this goddamn awful thing came out. You guys have just been in denial, and I don't know why anyone was ever in denial. Like, I mean, I get why they'd be in denial of like the fact that Celestials are this bad, but I don't know why they want to defend these abominations and bastardizations of what was once the most momentous island in monsters in MSM history."
Yeah. This island has been a huge, like, weight on my channel's shoulders ever since the original video came out. All the way back in, like, 2018. And it's so, like, liberating finally being able to talk about how awful it is to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah. For context, Olivia's very first venture into publicly stating opinions and criticisms of MSM islands was just a video titled "Celestial Island is Garbage" and it had Glacier as the thumbnail. And then afterwards, when Celestial Island finally finished, Olivia uploaded on April Fool's. The second part came out called "My Opinions on Celestial Islands Have Changed."
It was Celestial Island was better than I thought. That's what the name of the video was.
Yeah, and then the video was "JK lol, it's even worse."
Yeah. It's so abysmal.
I remember when we first started this series, we were saying like it'd feel unfair to like rank things based on like our personal opinions. Like, for example, me thinking Celestial Island is the worst island by a long shot. It would feel unfair for us to like put it really, really low tier just based on that alone. But I think time that's passed has really proven that like I genuinely believe we need to add an F tier for this island.
Oh yeah, I saw comments on the Tribal Island video. Shoutouts to whoever put the comment on the Tribal Island video saying, "I hope they create an F tier for Celestial."
Yeah, no, like I came in like I hate this island with a passion. I always have, and it's gotten to the point where I am genuinely so tired of discussing it. It's like become genuinely annoying because it's always the same arguments. It's always the same back and forth of someone making their point, me making the same point I make every time. They make their same point they make every time, and it always ends the same. And it always ends with me being like, "God, I don't want to have this discussion. I don't give a fuck. I just think this island is complete garbage. I don't want to talk about it."
The best
and
thing
now
about
I just never have to talk about it again.
Yeah, the best thing about this is once the Celestial Island YSM comes out, none of us ever have to think about this island ever again.
If someone asks our opinions, we could just link the podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of the fucking island as a whole, though, there's a lot of elephants on this island that you have to talk about. I just really want to drive the fact that I despise the business model of this island.
Yeah.
The fact that monsters cost thousands of diamonds, or hundreds of diamonds, I don't know the exact prices because I bought them all when they were on sale, but The fact that they cost hundreds of diamonds, I'm pretty sure some of them cost over 1,000 diamonds.
No.
No?
That would make
Okay.
sense though.
175.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, the fact that they cost that much, but they are not rewarding in the slightest, is like... It's so awful.
It's for the good
Listen.
players.
Ryan, how much does Galvana cost?
Alright, hold on. Let me open up my singing monsters to know how much Galvana costs, because Galvana is not the most expensive one. Tort is, with 175.
Yeah,
Listen.
I think Galvana's like
Yeah, that sounds
160.
That would make sense. Okay, listen. Celestial Island kinda suck. Big suck. Very bad. However, I think out of any Celestial Island I've ever had to see, I think mine is the best, structured, play out wise.
You're right.
You know,
just the fire bush.
listen, I know how to.
Damn, bro, that fire bush
Listen.
kind of popping off.
That fire bush is better than the entirety of Celestial Island.
Nah, bro. Actually,
Yeah.
Galvana isn't 160, it's 150.
Bro,
Good 160.
Listen, also, I would genuinely agree that the fire bush is better than every single celestial combined, because the fire bush has at least had something interesting happen with it, and it has been useful once before. So first of all, it's iconic because it's a huge part of the tutorial, because you place your fire bush next to the noggin. That's the iconic part of the tutorial. And second of all, this one time BBB, when they didn't know how to do sales that didn't break the game, they had the fire bush for I think 50% off, and it was before they had the selling price downscale with when sales happened. So someone bought and sell fire bushes because they just didn't lose any coins and just used that to get enough XP and leveled up to max level using fire bushes.
fire bushes can carry you to the end game. Celestial Island
Well, they
gets you
can't anymore.
2 diamonds.
It's so much easier to get 50 zints than to get a single celestial. But yeah, the fact that literally the best thing celestial is useful for at all is just Ryan spending 150 diamonds to buy a garbage can.
Yeah.
That is legitimately Celestial Island's best use. You buy a Galvana and just zap all your eggs to it.
It's useful.
This island. Okay, I guess we have to go over the song as a whole.
I mean, what
The
is
intro of the song happens, and then it's the verses, and then it's the worst verse in Amazon history, and then it's the rest of the verses. The verses are okay, I guess, but I think it's less about how it sounds and more about the impact, though. That's not to say it doesn't sound bad. It sounds fairly bad. It's just impact what? It's disgusting. And sound-wise, it's okay, I guess. Except for that one verse, which is again the worst verse in Amazon
I
history.
mean, it's cool for the lore, I guess.
Not
but-
really. How cool is that for lore? Oh yeah, imagine if they did that in the MCU. They were just oh yeah, Thanos and a bunch of other really old important characters who have survived for thousands of years. Imagine if what happened with all the Asgardians. What happened is Asgard somehow fell out of the sky and crashed, and they all became babies, and we got Thor baby. That
Thor.
wouldn't. I don't think anyone would like that.
No, I was less so talking about the Celestials and more the island itself, with at least retrospectively, because the whole new Colosseum lore with the 2 big boy colossals.
Yeah, I can't believe it. The interesting lore between Colosseum and Celestial Island, my 2 favorite islands.
Ugh. That laugh gave me the
Wow.
hiccups.
Once again, they're just two islands where it's completely shit, useless garbage rewards in every single way, and it
Hated Wicked
legitimately costs thousands of diamonds worth of time.
And does anyone?
Yeah, listen. Here's the thing. Now, listen, guys. I got the biggest idea. I got the best question. Would you rather spend 175 diamonds to buy Twerk or to buy horn warmers on Endbrat?
Honestly, should I have ended the video there?
Yeah.
Probably.